All right, my name's Michael,
My name's John.
and you're here at ChattRoom.
Follow and subscribe.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we have different perspectives, different people, and today we're talking about that specifically. How we're different generations. I'm a millennial,
I'm a Gen Z.
and we're going to break down some interesting facts about each other. And John, you're nice enough to kick it off with me saying some stats for you. So here we go. This is from capitalcounselor.com. First of all, Gen Z makes up 30% of the global population. So there's a lot of you,
Yeah,
which makes sense.
most definitely.
Yeah, we were reading today what you said. It goes from age like mid 20s to possibly.
It's from the age of 24 to 9 years old, or 9 years
Yeah,
old to 24.
yeah, that's
Is
crazy.
that the first fact that we make up 30% of the population?
Yeah,
Is that like in the world or is that the United States?
that says the global population.
Global. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, well, I definitely believe that fact because, I mean, just growing up, most of my friends' parents had 3 to 4 kids. Kind of seems like the average,
Yeah.
household. Most everybody. I'm actually a only child, but it wasn't very common for only childs to just kind of be walking around school. So that's definitely a true fact.
Yeah. If anything, you're bringing down that average.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
My parents, oh man.
All right. This next one I know really speaks to you. Also, this article keeps calling your generation Zoomers, which appropriately enough, we're not actually doing this call on Zoom, but I think that's what it's alluding to.
Yeah.
I like I like Gen Z better, but I don't know.
It's calling us Zoomers.
Yeah, Zoomers,
What
like Zoom, the video service.
the video service? I'm still not picking up what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like Skype. Like you can chat over Zoom.
Oh,
So
like technology, like
yeah,
using. Yeah, well, I mean, in school they kind of start you off that young in the Gen Z. I mean, I've been talking on audio for as long as I can remember.
all right. Second fact. So 50% of Gen Z between 18 and 22 participate in freelance work.
Freelance work. Give me an example of freelance work.
Yeah, basically the hustle, the grind.
Hmm.
That's at least how I'm taking it.
I
Which
disagree with that actually.
yeah,
I would say in my generation, most 18-year-olds. You said 18 through 24.
22 for some reason. It's
22.
very specific.
I would say most of my generation it was dug in their heads that we should go to college. So I mean, in that form, I would say we're that's our grinding time. At least 50% of the Gen Z.
Yeah,
But I mean, at least from where I'm from, Chattanooga, Tennessee, most 18-year-olds through 22-year-olds are getting to know themselves, if I would say. You know what I mean? Whether that's playing beer pong, whether that's starting a new job, whether that's in college, whether that's starting a business. I think it's more of like finding who they are more than like grinding for money. You know what I mean? Or grinding just to it. Yeah, but I don't think it's like the hustle time, like as far as I guess making money, if that's what you mean by hustling.
yeah, yeah. As the millennial, I'm sure I'm misusing that that, but yeah, that's at least my. You got what I was saying.
Yeah.
Actually, so I'm gonna go to one that's very tied to that. So fact number three. So 50% of Gen Z are open. I think it's important. Open to the idea of undertaking something other than a 4 year college.
Yes, I would definitely agree to that. And honestly, I think that our generation, we kind of, I graduated in the year 2016. So, I feel like that was kind of the cutoff point to where there was other routes other than college. Like, and you know what I mean? Because it seems like our generation, our parents, everybody went to college, everyone went to school, everyone got a good job, and if you went to college, it put you on, and if you didn't go to college, it's kind of like, oh, you're going to be a nobody. But I really feel like that's not the case, and I feel like our generation was probably like right at my age, 23 years old, is kind of when that took a turn. And I think there's other options like trade schools now that those weren't as big back then. Just the internet in general, you can make money off YouTube. You can make money Amazon drop shipping. You can make money just working from home. I mean, there's so many more resources than going to college and getting a 4-year degree as far as like to start your career. So yes, I agree with that one as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. You learned from my generation, hopefully.
Yeah.
Which while I appreciated college, the debt took a while to pay off. So you're like, forget that.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the debt babies. We're the investing babies.
Yeah, for real. All right. Moving on from that sad reality in my life. Okay, fact. I think this one's just pretty clear. 97% of people basically find shopping inspiration on social media. So 97% of Gen Z.
Mic drop. 100%.
Yeah. I'm like, what's the 3%? What are they doing? Just not on the internet?
I would say that they're stuck in their ways, and it's been like that since their birth. They've dressed the same way since first day of kindergarten, if that 3%. But yeah, I think, if you go back in the day, like kind of when our parents were growing up, and you know how everybody loved Beyonce, everybody loved rappers like LL Cool J and a bunch of big artists like that.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like you could just get on your phone after work or on your lunch break and see what, your favorite artist is wearing to the red carpet today, or what he's wearing driving in his Mercedes through the streets. Everything's so published to the world, and it's so easy for us to access. So you see some of your favorite movie stars, some of your favorite singers with those shoes, and a lot of those clothes that they're wearing is not that expensive to the point where you couldn't get it. So you're obviously going to want to look like them. You think it looks cool, and it does look cool. It's kind of hard not to see Travis Scott wearing some Nikes or Jordans and not want those too nowadays. You know what I mean? And everyone's got so many different styles now that there's so much inspiration to grab in an easy way. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Accessible and attainable celebrity culture. Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I know number 5 speaks to you, as this is maybe even something you were planning on doing before we recorded this tonight. 26% of Gen Z are gamers, and specifically like they would say like their number one entertainment choice would be gaming.
26%. Honestly, I think it could be higher than that. 26% to me, honestly, kind of sounds low.
Yeah, because that's only one of every 4.
Right. And I mean, as far as like, I know girls are into gaming a lot. For some reason, I didn't happen to play with girls on Xbox in high school or even now, but pretty much every single one of my friends in high school played games. You know what I mean? Like, now there were some friends that played like every night with you, and then there were some friends that you stayed up till 5 a.m. playing Call of Duty in the summers. But I would say at least 70% of my guy friends in high school all played games to an extent. You know what I mean? At least 10% of the year.
Yeah.
So I think it's honestly higher than 26%. I mean, maybe 26% of the guys. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I think our generation is way bigger, especially with Gen Z going all the way down to 9-year-olds right now. So I mean, most 9-year-olds are playing Fortnite as much as they can. Girls, boys, I mean, it really doesn't even matter. I mean, all types of games, and there's more games than when I was 9. So, I mean, and gaming has took off. I mean, you've got the Oculus now where you can put on those little headsets, and I mean, it's pretty much a virtuality world with the metaverse coming in. I think they partnered with them or something like that. And so you can actually game and not even have to sit in a chair anymore. You know what I mean? So I think it's way bigger than 26%.
Yeah. Well, yeah, to your point about young kids, I mean, like, in my day, you turn a TV on, that's, a cheap babysitter. Now it's an iPad with games. So
Right. That sounds right.
Fact number 6. So it says about 22% of Gen Z are raised by at least one immigrant parent.
You said 22% or 20%?
22%.
22% is at least raised by
Yeah,
an
it's
immigrant parent.
raised by at least one immigrant parent.
To be honest, I think that could be higher than 22% too. I guess it really depends on how you define like an immigrant parent, because I'm still finding out like my dad's like nationality. You know what I mean? And his dad or my grandpa was half black, half white, and my grandma has Native American in her. So like I kind of consider that, somewhat immigrant. You know what I mean? So like, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, my parents are black, but I mean, if you really want to nail it down to the T, there's some immigrant in there. You know what I mean? And I think everybody has a little bit of some type of race that they might not know in them. You know what I mean? To an extent.
Yeah.
And so I guess it really depends on what you define immigrants. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure how to answer that question, if I agree with that or not. I don't know. But that's my opinion. I think, no one's truly African and no one's truly white and no one's truly Scottish. And if you are, that's pretty cool. I think that's very rare with, the migrating we've done since the early 1600s from country to country, people meeting and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's just somebody who hasn't done their 23andMe test yet.
yeah. Ancestor.com. Whoever wrote that comment needs to go to Ancestor.com. You heard it first at ChattRoom.
So, number 7, 70% of Gen Z follow at least one influencer.
Agreed. 100% true. And I mean, to be honest, the way that was stated, the other 30% doesn't have an influencing app or a social media app, to me. That's what I get from that. I think everybody has an idol, whether that's Justin Bieber with 100 million followers or Kylie Jenner with gazillion followers or how many ever she has. Or if it's somebody small, like, I'm trying to think of a good example, small, maybe like a Kane Brown or something, you know what I mean? Somebody that's not huge, but still an influencer or a songwriter or a singer. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I think you're kind of saying this too, but basically, like every celebrity, to your point earlier, is sort of an influencer.
Right.
Even if it's not the traditional, just like, Joe Blow on the street or whatever that became famous through TikTok.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. This next one actually doesn't surprise me, but I'm curious about your thoughts. 40% of 19-year-old Gen Z in the U.S. don't have a driver's license.
40% of the 19-year-old Gen Zs do not have a driver's license. I'm going to have to disagree with that one.
Think it's too high, too low?
I think it's too high. 40. I mean, that's saying half of the 19-year-olds in today's world don't have driver's license, pretty much.
It is a lot. Yeah.
I mean, that's 10% away from half.
Yeah, I guess my presumption, or I just happen, it is probably very specific to me. I know a lot of like late bloomers, so to speak, as far as friends getting their driver's license, and some are like, Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
And it took till like 25, to get it. So that's why I was like, okay, maybe, you're right. That's almost half. So it is a lot.
Right. I guess I'm kind of trying to open my mind on that question. So I would disagree with that statement, but if I had to be fair, I think partially it could be somewhat accurate. And the only reason is because, there's a lot of unfortunate people in this world that, I feel like we don't see. So, from California all the way to Florida, across the country, 40% of those 19-year-olds might not have the resources, not have the appropriate parentship in order to get those things as soon as they want.
Sure.
I don't think that that's a big problem, but to be honest, I really don't actually know, because, I haven't actually done the math. I don't know how many 19-year-olds are unable to get their license, you know what I mean? Because I know growing up in Chattanooga, there's a few rough areas to where, some, maybe their parents don't have the gas money, or maybe, I don't know. I think, I don't think it's true, but I could see, across the country, there's unfortunate people, and that's sad to hear that they can't get a driver's license before the age of 19.
Yeah. Do you think it's also, like, I know for me, like growing up, my dad, I actually didn't really want to drive I was fortunate that, I have parents that could afford to give me, a car. It wasn't a new car, but, to give me a car. But my dad was very much like, at 15, you're getting your permit, at the age it was then, and 16,
Right.
you're getting your license. And, it was basically like pushed upon me. When I felt like an outlier because I was surrounded by all these people that wanted to drive immediately. But do you think that like parents nowadays are pushing their kids in the same way to get driver's license, or?
I would say yes, but I mean, there is a lot of things that have came out since, like, since you were 15 or 16, or even
It has
since
been a while.
I was 15 or 16. I mean, you got to think, when I was 15 and I got my permit, and my dad was teaching me how to drive and my mom was teaching me how to drive, there wasn't a Tesla driving itself. I can promise you that. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess you still need a driver's license to have a Tesla drive you, but you know, that might be motivation not to get a driver's license if things are going to start driving you and flying you nowadays. I mean, that's some deja vu stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I still kind of disagree with the 40%. I mean, maybe like a 20%, but I mean, a lot of people in our generation are learning how to work from home. So, I mean, if you're learning how to work from home and you like your family and you like your house, I mean, why leave? So
That's true.
I guess, I mean, I don't know. I guess I would have to be a little bit younger to really be accurate in that answer, but I'm going to go with a disagree on the 40%.
I am glad they said 19-year-old Gen Z, because if they said Gen Z and 9-year-olds, it's like, well, of course.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be driving.
Maybe that's why. No, you might be solving the problem here on the math rule, because if you think about it, I mean, 15, that might be 40%, honestly. 9 to 24, take half of 24, it might be 40%. Maybe that's just a fact and we took it too serious.
Yeah. Maybe. All right. Fact 9. If it's true, is bad news for AMC among others, but it says a mere 10% of your generation, Gen Z, watches TV or movies for entertainment.
You said 10%?
Yeah. So it's saying just one out of 10. Netflix also, just lost all the subscribers. So
right.
Maybe that was the other 40% that were watching it until, like this came out.
Right. I would say I disagree on that, and it really I mean, I say this a lot, but it really depends on what you mean by watching TV, because watching the Super Bowl to me is watching TV. Watching Netflix is watching TV. Watching Fox News is watching TV. I personally don't watch a lot of TV, as far as maybe like 1 hour a day, but I'm also that guy that watches YouTube for 3 hours. So I kind of factor that in with watching TV. It's just there's so many different things to watch nowadays for the Gen Z generation, because, you can watch people on Twitch game, which earlier in this conversation they said, gaming's a big part of our generation. So I could see how a lot of our generation is watching, big influencers on Twitch or YouTube, which might not be considered TV.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right. I'm sure that this survey is taking a very literal idea of like what TV is, and they probably mean like traditional TV, because otherwise,
right, like the channels.
That seems so low.
Yeah. I don't think Gen Z is worried about on demand. That's a fact. So as far as like Comcast cable, yeah, 10% of Gen Z is watching that. But as far as like on a screen watching something, get out of here. It's 100%, 100% of them. But yeah, we're not flipping through channels. No.
Yeah. Well, and that goes right into number 10, which is 89% of Gen Z use YouTube at least once a week. And I think, as you're kind of already testing to, once a week is almost seems like the low part of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think YouTube is honestly the new, you ever seen those books in Barnes & Noble? It's like they have a bunch of them. They're yellow and black. It's like for dummies, like a bunch on a bunch of topics. I think that's like YouTube is bringing that kind of service to our generation. Plus, it has all the music videos. It has, podcasts. It has pretty much anything you type in it on it. You know what I mean? So I know a few people that use that to like learn how to do an oil change, and it works. You know what I mean? So, or a lot of different tools. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that very specific example. I feel like YouTube has saved me so much money on my car.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube will teach you anything. I definitely think it's beneficial, a lot of it.
Well, out of those, obviously a few surprises, but did you feel it kind of had you all at least somewhat accurate?
I think all the facts were accurate. I don't know about the percents though. I'm still shook on that immigrant one. I don't even really understand that one. But I mean, I don't know. It was weird. It seemed like their percents were off because they were saying that 40% of millennials are raised by immigrants, but 10% of them watch TVs. I don't know. I feel like those are backwards. Yeah, I definitely agree with most of those. I disagree with the percent.